Hey guys, got another disassembly video for you today, and this one's a bit complicated because we're taking a look at a Desert Tech WLVRN, a very cool, interesting future bullpup concept. My particular one here is chambered in 308, at the moment at least. So let's go ahead, tear into it, and see how this incredibly modular rifle comes apart. Alright guys, so we can go ahead and start out by popping out our AR-10 style of magazine, set that aside, and then there are 3 push pins along the length of the rifle, one in the back, one in the middle, and then one in the front. Now, if you just want to hinge the receiver open, you can do that by just pressing out the back 2. These can get a little bit tight, particularly in the front pin on mine is very tight. And we'll pop the back 2 out, and then you can actually go ahead and hinge open the upper and lower receiver there if you just want to get to your bolt carrier group. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the front one as well, and actually I'm going to grab a mallet just because this is so tight on mine. So we'll pop out that front pin here, and then you can separate the upper and the lower receiver. Now, real quick, we'll just take a look at the lower receiver itself, and you can see we have our safety selector up front here, and it is ambidextrous on both sides of the receiver. Another cool thing is you have your magazine release on both sides in the same position it is on the AR-15, as well as an additional one right here in front of the magazine well. And then if we look on the inside of the receiver, this is going to be your magazine release bar there, and essentially it just pivots it forward when you push from either side on the front here, and then same thing back here. It'll push it forward and it will essentially press out on your magazine release. Now your trigger, there's going to be trigger bars that connect back to the trigger pack here, and then you can kind of see it pulling forward right there. When you pull the trigger, pivots it forward, and that releases the sear and the hammer. Now in the very back, you can see there is a rubber buffer back here, and one concerning area is this is where that rear pivot pin actually goes through, and mine did actually pop slightly out of the receiver, at least out of the side of the receiver, so it could tilt in there. And that's something I've actually seen on some of the Facebook pages. This is a part that's known to break if you do have that pin back out, because it will tilt forward and end up cracking and popping out this pinhole right there. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on, particularly if you have the 308 model. And then additionally, there's also a compartment in the pistol grip, but this is incredibly tight and hard to take out, and really you need some sort of pliers to pull this out reliably. And that's all we got for the lower receiver. Now, coming back to the upper receiver to get our bolt carrier group out, you can see it in there. You just need to make sure this rear pin is all the way pulled across, and then you can just grab the back of this guide here at the back of the bolt carrier, and it will come straight out. Now, the bolt carrier group itself is 100% AR-180 style or AR-15 style. We got our cam pin in there. And to take it apart, it's just going to go like any other style of AR-180 bolt carrier. You do also have your recoil spring wrapped around this rod, which actually connects to the piston and the gas block. And then this plate at the back is what the recoil spring actually presses against. But to get this apart, we have a more or less standard style of cotter pin right there. And it is a bit tight in here, so some tools are not going to be great at getting in there. But you just need to pull this cotter pin across, and then right there you can see pretty much a standard cotter pin. And then tilt it back, your firing pin, which is nice and long there, will pop right out the back of the bolt carrier. And then we have a cam pin up top here, so we'll go ahead, press it to the rear, turn it to the side, and it is a little bit elongated right there. So we'll go ahead and turn it over, and then here you can see the cam pin. I do have a little bit of concerning wear on there, particularly up top. You can see it's starting to displace some metal up there, so that's definitely something I need to keep an eye on as I use this rifle. But from this point, we can go ahead and just pull the bolt straight out the front of the bolt carrier, and you can see this one is marked 308 here. This is a 308 bolt carrier. It has rounded lugs, it has dual ejectors there, and then the extractor on the side. But other than that, pretty typical. It does have some wear here, which I am a little bit concerned about, and we'll see how that breaks in going forward. And then from there, we just have the bolt carrier, which is incredibly light, maybe too light, but that's really all you have to see here. Now, one change between the Wolverine and the older MDR or MDRX series of rifles is you can actually remove the barrel and swap it out to something else without removing your handguard, which is an improvement over the old one where you had to remove it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pop it off anyways, just to show you what it's like underneath. There are going to be two T25 Torx wrench screws on either side of the rifle. These tension it to the receiver. These are essentially more or less just M-lock slots that are built into the receiver itself. And then we can go ahead and pop across the single pin here, and you can pull the handguard off the front of the rifle. Now, this is a Black Label bipod handguard, but works essentially the same way. If you look in there, you can see little crossbars which tighten up into these grooves in the receiver here. And that makes it more solid, so it's more likely to hold 0 for if you're using a laser or something like that. Can't vouch for it at this point on how well it holds 0, but the next step is going to be pretty simple here. We just have these 3 screws on the side of the rifle. These are the tightening screws for the barrel, and they actually torque it in place. And to remove this, what you have to do is, I actually already have this in the unlock position, but in the lock position, you go ahead and rotate it over to unlock. And I had already pre-loosened these because they are pretty tight. Then you just need to rotate these out just a little bit until it relieves the majority of the tension. And now that those are loose, we can just grab the barrel and pull it straight out the front of the receiver. Now here is the barrel for the Wolverine. You can see we have the feed ramps back here as well as all the locking lugs. And then of course our short stroke gas piston system up front, and then we have our adjustable gas plug. And to actually disassemble this further, what we need to go ahead and do is you have this little silver detent there, so bring it to the next slot up from there. You need to go ahead and depress that detent and then keep rotating it. Can be a little tricky sometimes. And then when you get it past that detent, you can bring it to its disassembly notch here, so you can see it has the flat. Now the next part, this might not just pull out because this does have gas rings around it, so the best way to do this is to actually push from the rear on the piston itself, so just make sure it's in the right position there, and then you got to press it out. This is another one that gets a little bit tight, so sometimes you might need to take a mallet there, make sure it's in the correct position. Right there, and then just give it a couple of whacks until you relieve the pressure from those gas rings, and then you can go ahead and pull your adjustable gas plug out the front. You can see it has a minus, the lowest gas setting, suppressed, a just under normal, A+, and then an adverse setting on there. Now setting that aside, to get the actual piston out, what you can do is just take a bullet again, press from the rear on the back of the piston, and it'll pop out the front. And this is very similar to the SCAR style of piston, so it's just a little short one, but it does have gas rings on there to get a good gas seal. All right, now we'll just take a look at the upper receiver and see how this thing is actually put together. Now, a big difference between, or really the main difference between the Wolverine and the MDRX series is instead of having steel rails which are screwed into the receiver back here, the rails are actually machined into the solid aluminum receiver, so you don't have as many parts, as many screws, as many failure points back here. It does have a steel insert right here where the cam pin rides to strengthen that area so it doesn't end up beating itself to death, and that's where the cam pin turns into the receiver. And then up here you can see the screws which tension onto the barrel, and then it has replaceable feed ramps right here at the back, and then you can see the channel in there where the barrel actually locks into the receiver. Underneath here you can see the charging handle carrier, and then the charging handles are on both sides of the receiver. They also have a notch where it can lock upwards like an HK style of rifle, but it also has that notch in the front as well as these springs to push it into the notch to keep the charging handles forward while you're firing it, because this is a non-reciprocating system. And you also have the side plates here. So of course the MDRX and the MDR had the option to be forward ejecting, and that was done with these side plates. The Wolverine is only side ejecting, which is an improvement in my opinion. And you can see those plates on either side here, and you can actually swap these to either side of the receiver and swap it from left or right hand eject. It's not going to be as fast and easy as it was with the MDRX, but it is simpler. And then this one I kind of found interesting. The one that doesn't have the ejection port in it does have some sort of a styrofoam pad in there. I'm not sure exactly why they have that, but that is a feature in there. And then to swap these around, there's just a single screw on either side at the back. Then these lever out when you remove it, and then you just turn them around, put the screws back in, and there's a couple of plates in here. You can see right down there that actually hold that screw in the receiver. And other than that, this is just more or less a solid piece of aluminum with some screws going across. And that's all for the receiver. All right, guys, and there's the Desert Tech WLVRN fully field stripped. And as you can see, it's a little bit on the complicated side with the barrel swaps and everything, but overall not too terrible. So thank you for checking out the video. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you in the next one.